What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to Competitive Decks. Now, if you haven't seen this series before, this is where we talk about all the new and returning Pokemon in Crown Tundra. We've also covered Isle of Armor and just the base game itself as well, and we are filling our decks and learning how to use all of these mons at once. So today we're going to be talking about Glastrier, however you want to pronounce it. It's the ice horse, and this thing is crazy. So if you're excited to learn how to use this, then go ahead and leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. And in the comments down below, let me know one of two things. First of all, we primarily focus on competitive singles on this channel, but we also do VGC content as well. So if you would like some VGC movesets for this mon, please let me know in the comments below and I will be sure to drop some of those for you. But this video does focus primarily on singles. And then of course, let me know what you would like to see in the near future on competitive decks. We're gonna start with all of the new mods. So this horse, tomorrow we will have the ghost horse, the Spectrier, whatever you wanna do. We will have the Regis, and we will have the birds, and we will have Slowking, all that stuff. We're gonna start with all of those, and then we are going to go to returning mods. So Metagross is on our list for going first. We've already covered Garchomp on the channel as well. So yeah, we're gonna look at all of the new moves that everything got, all of the new Pokemon, the returning Pokemon. It's gonna be a good time. So now is a great time to subscribe. We're trying to get to 200 subs by the end of the year. So if you wanna help me out with that, that would be absolutely awesome. So let's go ahead and jump in with Glastrier. I'm gonna call it Glastrier for the sake of the video. I might be wrong. Go ahead and correct me in the comments down below. But this mon is straight up busted. I wanted to start with this mon because I think honestly, it or Zapdos is the most busted mon that is new. It's ridiculous. So let's look at its stats first. We've got base 100 HP with 130 defense and 110 special defense. That's nuts. That is amazing bulk, and you're gonna see from some of the calcs that we're gonna look at, it's absolutely insane the kind of damage this thing can take and fire back and just OHKO its opponents in return. It's nuts. And 145 attack, that is not shabby at all. Its only drawback is that 30 speed. So what do you think typically with that? Trick Room. So this is a banded set that is geared toward Trick Room. Of course, doesn't have to be, but you are going to be taking a hit beforehand if you are not in Trick Room, and it's nuts, okay? So just with this set right here, with no defense investment and running Brave Nature, listen to some of these calcs. Jolly Cinderace with High Jump Kick, cannot OHKO you. Adamant Non-Life Orb Blaziken with Flare Blitz, cannot OHKO you. Banded Rillaboom with Wood Hammer, cannot OHKO you. And Grassy Glide only has a 21% chance to 2-hit KO on a banded Rillaboom, mind you. Diancie has to be like really invested in attack or special attack to 2-hit KO you with Diamond Storm or Power Gem respectively. Banded Genesect cannot OHKO you with Iron Head because it gets the special attack boost when it comes in. Scarf Genesect needs the boost, and even then it's still just a % chance to OHKO with Flamethrower. Okay, that's nuts. With this set though, the offenses are nuts as well. You can OHKO a max defense Amoonguss, you can OHKO Dragonite through multiscale, you can OHKO Kartana with close combat and live a banded Smart Strike 82% of the time. That's absolutely insane. So obviously we have to watch out for a couple of things here. We've got pure ice typing, so we are weak to rocks, so we need to make sure that you have some kind of hazard control on your team. And then you've got this busted ability called Chilling Neigh. Chilling Neigh is basically Moxie. It's every time you take a KO, you get stronger, and that's just insane to me. Especially if you are in Trick Room and you're faster, you're just gonna get stronger and stronger and stronger, and those boosts will stack with your choice band. It's ridiculous. So we've got Icicle Crash on this. You could run Avalanche if you wanted to run like a move that gets doubled in power if you get damaged, but that's unreliable to me, so I would rather run Icicle Crash because you get the better damage all the time rather than necessarily have to relying on taking a hit, especially if you're running this in Trick Room. You've also got close combat. This helps you against steel types, which are going to be pretty common switch-ins to this, so it makes them not able to switch in. You've got throat chop for ghosts. Ghosts are obviously the most common typing in the game right now. It also helps you to check things like Articuno, but I mean, Articuno just doesn't like Icicle Crash. Any psychic types, so things like Slowking would not appreciate that either. And then you've got high horsepower for your more steels. You've got fire types, and it's just really awesome coverage. It also covers your rock types, but so does close combat. This is really good coverage overall, and it actually gets more coverage, to be honest. It's pretty crazy. It gets body press, which we're going to show in a later set. It also gets, it gets lash out if you want something besides throat chop. Throat chop is obviously a little bit more reliable. You've got mega horn and outrage. You're probably never going to run outrage, but mega horn is definitely an option. It gets taunt as well for utility, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, so this set right here is absolutely insane. I absolutely love it. And let's go ahead and look at the assault vest set though, because here's where things get a little interesting. So it's already bulky, right? But now it gets even bulkier. And so yes, we take away the choice band, and so you lose a couple of OHKOs, but not really. You maintain pretty much the ability to 2-hit KO almost anything in the tier. It's insane. You can OHKO almost anything in the tier. And this, with Assault Vest, just this set right here, with 8 investment and max HP, you cannot be 2-hit KO'd by a Specs Coco Thunderbolt in terrain. You only get 2-hit KO'd by a Specs Psychic from Lele 6% of the time, and if it's not Specs, you get 3-hit KO'd. Offensive Heatran only KOs with Lava Plume 11% of the time if it doesn't have a boosting item. It has to be the Magma Storm, and even an offensive Magma Storm does not OHKO you, it just 2-hit KOs you. So that's also kind of crazy. It's really awesome, this mon. It has the same kind of thing as Melmetal, kind of. It's very similar to Melmetal in its function. It's just Ice type, and so it's kind of insane. Do I think it's going to get banned? Probably not. I don't think it's going to get banned like Melmetal did, and probably will get rebanned. Melmetal is now legal again, as well as most of what got banned in the second half of last season's meta. And so yeah, it does struggle against Melmetal, but we're going to look at a set actually that might help you against a Melmetal. First though, we've got Sword Stance, which if you got a Sword Stance up and you're going before a Melmetal, then you can OHKO it with close combat, which is kind of nuts. And high horsepower, actually. But so this is a Life Orb set with Sword Stance, so it just boosts your offensive power even more, which is absolutely insane. There's not really a whole lot to talk about on this set, but yeah, it's pretty much the same coverage as before. We lose Throat Chop, unfortunately, but like once you have Icicle Crash coming off of Stab and 145 attack, you really don't need it because you're just going to OHKO everything anyway. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Now this last set I wanted to look at here is a defensive set, and this gives you an alternative for your EV spread. Now, this EV spread could be switched to have the 92 in attack and have an adamant nature. And the reason we have 164 in speed is this allows you to outspeed no investment base 50s and below. Now, why is it important to outspeed base 50s and below? Here are a few of them. Carbink would normally be able to come in decently safely on this just because of its massive defensive stats. It is now slower, so you can 2-hit KO it and be slower and be faster than it. Diancie, if it doesn't have any kind of investment, typically Diancie is going to be invested because it's more of an offensive threat, but if you see a more defensive variant, then this will actually check that with 164 speed. You will outspeed an Aggron, you will outspeed Audino, Azumarill, which is a pretty good one. Hippowdon you will outspeed, and you 2-hit KO with Icicle Crash on. I don't think you even need to be choice banded, but you do need some investment. You will outspeed Melmetal because Melmetal is actually faster than you naturally. It is base 34 speed rather than 30, so you kind of do need some speed investment unless you can catch it in Trick Room, and then you can underspeed a Melmetal in Trick Room, which is kind of crazy. And then the Regis, all 3 Regis are base 50, so if they have no investment, which most of them are, you may see an occasional one with a little bit of investment, but typically they're going to be no investment and it's all going to be in their defenses. You will outspeed Rhyperior, which is a big one, and then Tangrowth, which is another big one. Tangrowth being a premier wall in OU, and this way you can actually go before it and it doesn't get to come in and sleep powder you before you get to do anything, so that's really awesome. But this is a sub Iron Defense, Icicle Crash, and Body Press with some special defense investment. So yeah, once you start setting up some Iron Defenses with your base 130 defense, you really don't need the investment, to be honest, on this kind of set. This is one that just kind of sits there forever. And so you click sub and start setting up, and you just kind of win. It's kind of nuts. This set will be pretty cool. And of course, this is all early meta kind of stuff. The meta will shift as we go, but these sets honestly are something that you could expect to see in early meta and even try out for yourself. I think the 164 speed is going to be really, really nice because those base 50s are kind of important. You don't want to sleep on those, especially Melmetal. This gives you a decent little way to deal with it, and you can 2-hit KO it. So I mean, if you're able to catch it on switch in and hit it once, you're going to chunk it to below 50%. So yeah, it can't really switch in very safely to you. So yeah, I think this is a pretty cool starting point for Glastrier. And I want to know what you think in the comments down below. I want to see possible sets that you think, if these sets you think will work, won't work, if you want to see anything for VGC, anything and everything down below in the comments. I love reading your comments. I respond to everybody. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. And tomorrow we will have our ghosty horse and we'll kind of go from there. We'll just have to see what happens. I'm going to try to have a Wi-Fi battle out this week. I'm not sure if I will be able to get enough mons in game to be able to show something off for you, but I'm going to try. And so we will see what happens. If on Wednesday you see a Wi-Fi battle, great. If not, we'll get one next week. Hopefully, I'm trying to get some mons in game so that we can show some stuff off, and it's going to be a really good time. So thank you again for watching. We will see you next time. Stay safe out there. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.